Indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you so much for joining me again. Such a dear pleasure having you here. PK has stickers. Dude, looks like you after like a little bit of a run being like, dude, I'm dying inside a little bit. It's nice having you here, Joe, Jumpin' Jack, Joy Vive. I was trying to add a J to Shannon. Jannon? A J. I wanted to add a J and a sh sound. J, Shannon. Bethany Foster? Not Bethany. Oh, that's Harley Quinn. Kunk. I was like scrolling my catalog of who is this? Who's the Fragt? Love you, friend. Thank you for joining us. So nice having you friends here. Yeah, that's what I call the struggle bus. I was riding the struggle bus a little bit yesterday, PK. I'm not gonna lie. My computer broke down, uh, and I was like, bruh, why? And I asked why a bunch of times, and then I realized that I had a lot more peace in not asking why than I did in asking why. So I stopped asking why. Went through this whole experience of thinking how there are still solutions last night as well. Like I was still problem solving, trying to figure out how myself some solace. Like, the problem will be solved tomorrow. I know what needs to be done. And then I do the thing that needs to be done and it does nothing. And I'm like, acceptance. Yes. So I feel today officially the acceptance really set in for me. And it's giving me a sense of calm. Here, I feel playful. I feel playful. I feel like the universe is just playing games, just being such a silly little girl. Silliness. I'll write silly on my Garrick for today. If we're going to talk about playfulness, being silly is definitely going to be a part of it. Crayon, nice having you here. I see Amirisido is here too. Love to you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Even a Gavity Goo saying, Meet Morpty Ski Barpty 2020. The Scorpity B Bopity 3. Yeah. Hmm. You know? Yeah. No? Yeah? Yeah. Mm. I was hoping to see you with yoga soon. Soon. I was curious, and I'm looking forward to seeing his name in chat so I can ask him directly. But I was curious about Corey's meditation yesterday. How did that go? And also, you friends have to let me know what is the how's the audio sounding today? Better, worse, too loud? Can you hear more of the burbs? I did some shenaniganzing, so things are changed. Uh, it might be too loud, but you'll have to let me know. I don't know. You'll actually have to tell me. We'll do some enlightenment or dawn. The Degas. We'll do. Hmm, we'll do radical change or catastrophe. Right? Hail. Not from a this is what we want, but how the lightning or the Degas, the dawn can kind of still show us even through the discomfort what there is to be learned. We'll do the change rune as well. We did do change yesterday, technically. Let's do. mm, let's do magic and wisdom. There we go. Sicketh. So, some weather we're having, huh? Tell me how you've been, friend. How's the third day of the year treating you right now? I was having a pretty decent yoga session. We had a new friend show up today in class, and she shared that her son was a part of this community work, I think is the way to say it, where they would bring sports, play into communities, and they would try to connect the different classes with each other so they can play sports together with this intention of really connecting people that usually wouldn't be connected, that kind of live in their own fractals, believe this is what life is. And she encouraged me to check it out as well. And even though I don't know if I will, right, from this perspective of something I would like to participate in, strictly because I don't really like sports, or at least ball sports. Not, I have nothing against the camaraderie of part of it. I just, maybe I'm bad at it. That's probably what it is. I'm biased, but I do believe that that idea can be extended into games, right? Virtual experiences. That there is play to be had in virtual experiences as well, and that we could potentially, going forward into the future we're living in right now, create experiences like that for the same kind of effect, right? That the internet is technically this leveling of the playing field. At least that's the way I like to see it, where many different people from many different classes can kind of show up and participate in an experience, right? There's no gatekeeping happening in this experience other than your access to a screen, an audio device, and internet. And if you're really dedicated, I guess you could go to a library, right, and and watch Meltmore streams. I'm tripping out seeing that possibility, but yeah, you don't have to do this, but we can potentially into the future have experiences that are a little bit more decentralized as well, right? Where usually, and like to give you an example of the thing I was thinking about, my dad and my brother went and played golf today. And golf isn't my thing, and they're still not back. So I, you know, couldn't go with the whole yoga thing and the stream as well. But there was a part of me that has, I don't know if it's a part of me or if it's most of me, but there is a part of me that has this deep sense of aversion to, for example, the game of golf, right? Because it is and has historically been a classist game where you have to have the resources to buy yourself golf clubs and balls that you can just, sometimes, usually even hit into oblivion. You have to have the time on top of all of the work you're doing, right? You have to have the luxury of not having to work so that you can go and play golf instead. And then on top of all of that nonsense, there's a lot of, let's just call it corruption happening within the game as well, where rich people that have the power to make decisions, or business deals that have the potential to influence other people's lives happen around a game like golf, where you can determine someone's sportsmanship, for example, how likely they are to cheat in life, even just by watching their golf playing kind of behavior as well. And all of this to say, even though all of those things are cool and also horrifying, it was and continues to be a classist game, where if you're not a part of a certain class group, you can't exactly play. And if you're not a part of that class group, you can't exactly influence slash connect with the people that can play, right? But with the internet, right, at least to some extent, all of us can play. All of us can participate in the stream right now. You can reach out to the friend right next to you, and we can start a conversation, right? There's no gatekeeping happening. I'm gonna add melt as a second intention. Melt into silliness, if you. Mm, oh, it's nice and calm. Yeah, yeah. Change, change, the only constant, huh? The only constant. I feel I've been noticing change in myself, and I don't know if I like all of the changes. I was meditating today, tripping out about it even, where I was asking myself, am I being selfish? Am I doing something wrong? Should I be doing something differently? Why am I asking these questions? Right? When it took me through this trip, this real trip of considering all of those questions, and then at the end of it, considering why I considered all of these questions. And then after considering that, I considered whether or not it's a good thing that I'm having these thoughts from this perspective of, is having those thoughts in the first place the thing that will allow me more grace, right? That if I can be hard on myself, be a little bit more, the word I want to use, even though I don't like it, is judgmental, right? I can be a little bit more judgmental with myself. I become a little bit more immune to the judgments of others. Mm. You can so hear those burps, right? Yes, I'm happy I added some volume. I don't think any of your friends have let me know if you can hear anything yet. Uh, for some reason, my chat doesn't work right now. Uh, uh, we, so this is taking me very deep, much deeper than I anticipated going. But during that meditation as well, I had this weird thought, and I'll share it just because it's kind of adjacent to what I'm feeling right now, where I was tripping out about a future where a whole group of people might potentially want to make me feel, make me, let's just say, stop me. A group of people want to stop me, right? And they know I'm doing this every single day. So instead of just outright trying to stop me, they spoof. There we go, live again. As I'm talking about this weird topic as well, strangely enough. So yeah, I had this trip during today's meditation of like, what if someone maliciously tried to get me to continue streaming every day without my streams ever reaching the world, ever reaching you friends? And in a playfulness mindset, I just continued doing it. Right? I knew that I was being manipulated. My chat is just gone, yo. This is like the worst case scenario, and yet I feel like this meditation of today prepared me. It's not the way I think it is right now. What happened? I don't know. I don't know, Shannon. I actually don't know. Is my YouTube stream broken right now? Can you see it live right now? For some reason, I can't access chat. Let me see if I exit the app quickly and come back. It's probably gonna. Dang Mercury. There we go. There we go. Actually, you can see chat now. Sicketh. Hey, Maxine, you're now still going, shooting into play. Right, right. And as I'm talking about this weird trip I was going through about, not being able to stream as well, or being able to stream, but not actually being able to stream. And like, yeah, right. Oh, I'll be so okay because I'll be playful instead of angry. And then the universe is like, oh, yeah, Oh yeah, yeah. Are you sure about that? Sure about that? Oh, how about I make things a little bit more difficult? Mercury retrograding and stuff. Dang, Mercury. Yeah, it seems it's retrograding so hard. That was an ironic time for it to drop right as Melty was talking about the conspiracy against him, right? What a trip. What a trip. And it could be like a joke of the universe being like, oh yeah, how about you have more conspiracy? Or to me at least, it's just this deep recognition of the universe of the trip I'm trying to continue I experiencing. Something just bit me. Mosquito or something. Got you back, dude. Here we are again. Totally Mercury retrograde. Wiggly wonkiness retrograde. My PC just crashed a little ago as well. Yeah. Yeah, it seems Mercury is strong this retrograde, yo. Like I've never really experienced like I remember during my yoga around around this dude, disconnects again while I'm talking. I don't even know how much you got of that, but I'm getting basically yoga teacher trained. One of my yoga instructors says Mercury is in retrograde and her computer is giving her problems. And a part of my egoic self goes, nah, I'm not sure about all of that. I'm not sure about all of that. I'm sure that it's probably just you being bad at computers. Apparently not. Getting schooled. Hey, Rizzy Rizzios. It's nice having you here, friend. Sending you love. Let Mercury rest a bit. We need him in full force after he's done dancing around. Yes, exactly. Love you guys. I'll see you after the sunspots. After the sunspots. Well, it's only us three here now. All right. Very nice and quaint. I'm still tripping out about whether or not my audio levels are good. And I'm tripping out of whether or not my chat is working. There we go. Now my chat is working. Mercury retrograde is an optical illusion. I know nothing, dude. All I know is what I'm seeing right now, right? Technological difficulties has been pretty present for me. PC dead. Streams having some difficulties. But that's all. It's actually pretty tame even. Blessings and joy to you all. Whoa, it's back. Let me see. Play with these marbles, Sparky. Corey, there he is. Why does it always seem like Mercury is in retrograde? Because things are just always breaking or something. Hey, Corey, I was just talking about you a little bit earlier, friend. How was your meditation session yesterday night? Got none of it. It happens 3 times a year. Why though? No one asked it to. Well, it also depends where Mercury is in your birth chart. So not everyone is experiencing the retrograde in the same way. The more you know. Chill out, Mercury. Forest growth. Audio is fine. We need movement for change. All is good. You know, on that note, I think I'll get up and move a little bit. Gonna put on my sandals. Not because I want to, but because I more want to not step in thorns. I don't know if my comments are working right now. I don't know if it's displaying correctly. I feel I'm living into this energy of playfulness alongside the willingness to admit that I know nothing, right? I don't know anything. I actually, like, I'm a little bit confused most times, right? Dazed and confused, flying through actual space at absurd speeds, walking on the surface of a planet, breathing air, listening to birds, listening to the bees. Hmm. What more is there to know? But love is true. And I can feel Melita being like, maths, oh, you need maths. Yeah, yeah, it's true. I would like to talk to a mathematician, actually. I wonder. Would he admire me, or would he consider me stupid? Do I care? Do I care? I feel if anything, I would just be enthralled with the ability to be playfully communicating with someone about these things. Wouldn't put on sandals. Well, I'm definitely not Jesus. I'm the first Meltmore. HIV. Yeah, instead of Jesus walking on water, he can walk on thorns. It's like, look at that dude. Oh, he's just walking in the thorns. Just doesn't care. What do you mean? You already talked to a mathematician? I know, I know. That's what I mean. That's why I'm saying these things, Melita. It's like really, right? Like, well, like Melita is an actual mathematician, just to like connect our other friends as well. Like Melita is an actual mathematician. I'm tripping out. I added some valor as the oil to this dear Shan as well. I think it went well. I definitely will be having more. Finding my voice will take time, but will be worth it. Once I get more comfortable leading it, it will be better. I believe in you, Corey. I'm encouraging you, dear friend. I was thinking about it while I was going to sleep, thinking to myself that it's probably going to happen in the middle of my sleep time, and that you friends are mindfully meditating, bringing right that conscious energy into the world while I'm unconscious. We, the mathematicians, gotta be a he. The only one I know is a girl. No, the only mathematicians I know are girls as well. Joy Vive. I would like to talk to people like Nikola Tesla or Einstein or good old Mandelbrot. I would like to talk to that dude. ITOC. I would love to talk to that dude. But alas, I'll probably talk to them in their AI versions of themselves eventually. We're gonna go a little for a little movement. Melita did encourage us to move a little bit, right? Playfully moving. So many of these sticks on the ground. This is what I'm looking out for. I want to put the little shoes on. You see that? Yeah, there you go. Focused a little bit. It's like all directions. Ooh. What an experience. What an experience. A new year, right? I've been tripping myself out about being fat, yo. Yeah, I know. I know it sucks. And I have this goal for this year to get into the best shape I've been in my life. But I'm wondering why. Right. And the reasoning, at least in my current opinion, the reasoning I'm trying to get better is because I want to be a part of my identity. Like the willingness to improve, the willingness to show up for something, the ability to do hard things. Shouldn't be coerced or forced upon myself. It should be something that comes naturally. And it's been this weird trip of like thinking about the things that I want to do, the content I'm supposed to be filming, and then subsequently editing and posting. And even though I have these ideas, some of them more creative than others, some of them better than others, I am instantly kind of caught in this place of asking myself, do I want to continue doing that? Right? That sure, I can start doing this new thing, creating this new form of content, filming this new type of like for instance, dancing videos. A part of me wants to do that, right? Because I like dancing. But the part of me that watches myself sit down after filming myself dancing and then getting the music that I was listening to download onto my computer, and then cutting that music in bits and then moving it over itself so that I can get it nice and synced up, and then cutting that little piece of content into like a minute snippet because that's the attention span, and then rendering that, and then it's one, right? Then it's one, and then I have to do that over and over again every single day. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then there's a part of me that's like, bro, we don't do things because we want to. We do things because it's what we do, right? Like it's not a coercing of a wanting or not, but an identity. Like this is I am a human. Here I am humaning. I have to eat food and drink water and breathe air. Otherwise I cease to human. So I'm already playing the game of humaning right now. So I shouldn't be stopping myself from doing these things just because I don't want to. And then I think to myself, sure, all of that, but also, do people want to see that, right? Am I providing value? Is there value being provided? Am I making the life better of the person participating in this piece of content? And that's a whole other can of worms. It's a whole other can of worms. Am I contributing to the brain damage? Am I counterintuitively hurting what it is we're doing right now if I did that? Right? Trying to figure out what we're supposed to be doing is it's a slippery slope into realizing that we don't know anything over and over again. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. We realize we know nothing. So much nothing, yeah. So much nothing. I thought you'd be great for your time, Corey. I look forward to the meditations to come. Thank you for that manifestation and encouragement. Shannon starts bouncing around in her chair. Thank you, Shannon. I'll try. I have some notes or something to help it be more structured and have better flow. That sounds like what I've been trying to do as well. And it's kind of breaking my mind a little bit because we want it to be flowy, right? Like it's almost like you're gonna have to learn how to surf the meditation wave, right? Of that connection to everything and the willingness to let whatever is flow through you. And also the ability to have some sort of structure and the end goal to get to. Coffee, yo. Ever since staying at Christian's place, I adopted this ability. Yes, call it an ability, why don't you? To only drink half my coffee. And that means I get to drink the other half of my coffee later. So I get to have the coffee experience twice by only making myself one coffee. Because that's like the caveat I let myself. Drink one coffee and drink it later in your day instead of first thing in the morning. And I find, in my personal experience, that's the best way to use it. Less of a crash and more work time with the caffeine as you consume. Ah. I hope the animal noises comes through better today. Like we're definitely surfing this wave as well. Is that an Isaac? Look at this long range sniper edition. Yeah. Isaac, it's so nice having you here, dude. I was talking about you yesterday, maybe the day before as well. I'll try to have some notes that you're doing well, friend. And Isaac. Still not used to the wireless mic. So surreal to hear good sound quality while Melt walks around. It's kind of it's kind of brain melty to me. It's like a dissonance in a way where your eyes are here and your ears are moving around with me as I move into the space. That would be good, Corey. Maybe eventually you don't even need notes. Yes, you're gonna basically learn the structure. Nah, how it goes. I've been missing you. Same. Doing things for the sake of doing them instead of doing them for the result. Yes, for play. For play, right? Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Melita. That's the whole point of today's stream. That this is a play. We're not doing this because we're burdened to. Oh, 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 woe is me. I have to human again today. Oh, it's like, oh, I get to human again today. I get to be silly, right? I get to be playful. I get to make this experience whatever I want it to be. If I wanted to, I can, just strip naked and run into the forest right now. Seems like a very visceral experience. Seems very free, right? Surely not very normal, not very human of me. Maybe it's more human of me. But at the same time, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. You're not being coerced into being here right now in this human life, I think at least, right? So surely you're here for play. You're here to be like, ew, what's up? Listen to the birds, listen to a Pippi scratch herself. She killed a chicken today. I don't know if you wanted to know that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Pippi gets overexcited sometimes. I'm sorry. I've been good. Today's the first day back in the office since vacation. I had a huge case of the Sunday scaries yesterday, but it's going uncommon well. Sunday scaries. Maybe like watching scary movies. Really feel like a reset for the year, and I can calmly accept and enjoy my experience. I'm trying to live into every aspect of the experience being more than fine, being just right. Perfect, the creme de la creme. I'm sure at some point it will, Shannon. I just need to practice and prepare. Not so willy-nilly, free-balling, so to speak. Every single one of my meditations, for what it's worth, dear Corey, has been free-balling. I have a structure. Like I do mostly, at least I have done mostly chakra meditations, where I kind of like go on the layers of perception, if you will. And it's worked really well for me because it is like a rough skeleton to build sounds onto. To try and force less and accept more. You're doing well already, but the bear. You're accepting this moment with us. Being playful with your presence. Mel, you need to generate revenue. If you can help peeps while you do that, fantastic. I'm thinking about it, Joy Vive. I'm thinking about it. I really am. I really am. But I'm also unwilling to compromise myself. And we talked about this yesterday, the whole selling parts of ourselves, right? And I have a Patreon, right? Which is selling the part of myself that is artistic, if you will. And that has already been a massive help, like incredibly so, this last year. But it's also it's hard to reach people, I guess. And I feel like you're a very peculiar person to like stuff like that. Right? What draws us to seeking out these experiences, beautiful things, playfulness? Right? It still trips me out what it is I'm doing with those flowers. Taking my clothing. And it's so weird watching myself through someone else's eyes, taking a photo of what looks like my crotch area. Right? I get my pants, my shirt, and my scarf in one photo. And then I, contort reality to make something psychedelically beautiful. And I love it. I love it so much. It brings me a visceral sense of joy. And then I get to articulate both to myself and to you, friends, what it was we were supposed to learn today, or at least what I learned today, right? Not claiming that my experience is any more valuable than anyone else's, but just being willing to share those experiences. And you, friends, share those experiences with me too. I've seen your friends' growth. Yeah, Peppy! Peppy, Peppy, people are here. Dad and Brodor is back. Dad, Brodor, and sister, I believe. Mm, well, I have almost the opposite of that, where the start of a new year, feeling which at first I felt like I was behind or missing the start, but no, it's just still happening. Yeah, it's gonna be a new year for the whole year. And then it's gonna be, I was like thinking about that. I was like, yesterday, I jokingly, uh, tongue in cheek said it as well. Like it was, yesterday was New Year 2, right? And then today is New Year 3. And then tomorrow will be New Year 4 until it's New Year 365. And then it's gonna be New Year 1 again. Starting all over. Hey, Vesel! Boeta, ek het jou fan geleen. Hy is in my rekenaarkamer vanaand. Ek sal hom vir jou terugbring. Daai kleintjie. Daai kleintjie, Wessel se wat op jou tafel was. Moes waar, ja. I'm just letting my brother know that I borrowed his small little desk fan. He wasn't here, so I appropriated it, but I wanted him to know instead of walking into his room. I'm happy to hear you've been good, Isaac. I like your attitude going into the new year. It's going to be a good one. We are going to make it a good one. The year doesn't have to be good for us to have a good year, right? Think of that as like a mentality. You got to start somewhere, right, Corey? You started. That's the thing that I'm proud of, and we see you for that, dear friend. Peppy the Chimkin Killer. I love her. I love her so much as well, right? That's the thing. Even though I know full well she killed Chimkin. Don't love her any less. Not a smidget, not even a fraction. And it's concerning. I'm like, am I evil? Should I love her less? No, no love is true. I've been practicing doing some DMing on shot practice 2 and wanting to start a campaign soon to give it a full shot. It's a form of creation, dear friend, and eventually we'll be able to, with language to image, language to video, language to 3D rendered worlds, create experiences as dungeon masters, if you will, dude. I see you, brother bear. Yeah, grow those fractals. I've asked you before how you keep the dogs from eating the chimkins. Cats too. You'd think they'd be the worst killers. I feel like there is like, ah, that's what we do. When we see the dogs chase the chickens, we're like, puppy, yeah, stop it, stop doing that. And then they listen. I don't know why particularly, but then sometimes we're not there to and then things get wrecked. But the cats don't care. The cats just don't eat chickens. I think the cats are fed well enough. The dogs do it for sport. Absolutely, Shanansky. I think I'll try and plan something this afternoon, and maybe I'll do another one tonight. I'll take some liberty and maybe send you something as well, dear Corey. I don't know if you'd be, opposed to that. I can't wait to receive the bounty of your work and understanding, our plant friend. Sunday scaries, the feeling of dread on Sundays when you know work is coming up. Okay, I feel you, dear friend. I also shave my face for the first time in over a year. Feels like I'm 17 again. Remembered how, or re-remembered? Reminded, there we go, how hot you are about facial hair, baby. That would be cool, Corey. Let us know, please do. Isn't your face gonna be cold now? I didn't even think about that actually, Isaac. That's so much. It is. I feel like my cheeks are wet now when I leave the house because it's cold. The nice thing about never knowing everything is you get to explore information at your leisure. I like approaching a life like a calm stroll around an infinite library. Yes. So the way that I've gone through a loop in that from my head, Isaac, is that you don't know everything, you get to know everything, right? And everything happens always and over all time. So relax. You're doing okay. Are you breathing? Yeah? Gravity's still working for you? Can feel and experience at all? You're doing most of inert matter. Good on you. Good on you. So freaking significantly special. Thank you for the invite, Richard. So nice having you, friend. Sending you love. Isaac, you need a trapper hat, the kind that have the ear flaps that cover your cheeks. This sounds pretty cool, actually. If you like reading a textbook, skim some, spend some time on the funnies. Get a Starbies if you want. Oh, I like the sound of that, Corey. My hair, luckily, is ludicrously long, so it does the job. Ludicrously long and ludicrously voluptuous, right? I've never considered someone's hair as voluptuous as I think Isaac's is. Very much waves for the max. Do you tie your hair over your cheeks and under your chin? Well, I will not. Just as with the warm, Isaac, the hair keeps the wind off the back of my neck and my ear holes and sides of my face. It's so good. The head of the wind sucks though. Goodness. I sometimes think about shaving my head because of how hot it is, right? Like that's the other side of the fractal as well. Maybe I'll plan to try and recruit some melters for a D&D party. Oh yeah, straight ski masks are what's needed. Maybe, start wearing balaclavas or something. And I feel we have like a lot of our multi friends here in America as well. So there's definitely some friends. I'll be a druid for you, Isaac. Do you homebrew or no? I think so, right? At least that's what I've been interpreting with the whole DMing. What a stream. What a stream. Showing up to be playful and then just looking where it takes us. Have I become, I shouldn't ask these questions. I shouldn't ask these questions. I was going to ask, have I become more or less playful throughout these streams? A part of me would like to believe it fluctuates. All right. As all things, change is the inevitable. Talking about change, I feel I want to move my shot because the sun is very soon to peek through and fire in my laser at my eyeballs, and I'm scared. No, I'm not scared. I'm respectful. Yeah. I'm so respectful of the sun. I've tried fighting the sun before. The sun laughed. So I'm gonna do the mature thing. Doggos being doggos. Hmm. How are we for signal? Let's see. Still good. Still kind of good. Still kind of good. How's that for an angle? I don't think we've had that one many times before. Yeah. The trip that I can actually still speak to you, friends. Even when I'm away from the camera, it's still something I have to get used to. Get my water. Get my box. I think I'm gonna leave my water bottle here, so I'm gonna need, like, this is my last drip. Remember when I said it's gonna be my last trip? I lied accidentally because I still have to get the cushion. I didn't have to want to get the cushion. Hey, Gary. Gary, thank you for joining us, friends. It's nice having you here, dude. So much love to you. How are you doing? How's the 2023 getting to you, bro? Straight ski masks are what's needed. I think ski masks are bandit hats. I think my first full campaign, I'll keep the base rules, okay? Buy a pre-written campaign to follow. I always add some more improv to spice it up, but I love a good old druid. There we go. Thank you for the love, dude. I think they fluctuate, but I think there's a good balance of playfulness and more seriousness, Mal. Thank you. I think it depends, right? Like, being playful is good, but only if it's done in moderation as well, right? Like, someone might come into our stream with the news of passing, and maybe being playful isn't what's needed in that moment. Does someone just manifest energy into the space? It pops up next to the view count and the updates. It depends on what's happening in your life. Sometimes your playfulness, sometimes you're playful, sometimes you're bawling your eyes out, sometimes you're serious. Thank you, friends, for saying something. I was like just passing by and I was like, yeah, you put this down. You shouldn't be asking, and your friends still share so much love. Thank you. RP the character I have ready, be quite hilarious. I want to check out Foundry VTT, so I would like to run off on that. I'll need a month or so, but I'll post in the Discord to recruit peeps. Thank you, Gary Lee. Love you. I see a tree. All right, very much a psychedelic fractal one. Base splits out, splits out, and then curls in onto itself. Love you, dude. Thank you for providing nutrients to the tree that is this life. I appreciate you, dude. Yay, Christian posted his first post of the new year. I'll have to go check it out as well, actually. I recently went into like a little bit of a like spree on his stuff, reading it. Yeah, that dude. He's he's one of the reasons I have hope for this world. And then I trip out, you know, feeling so lucky for most of my life. Like I'm never going to meet another person that I can feel so much hope for the world through. And then there's you, all right? So many of you friends creating this experience right now, having hope for our future, having love in your heart, having time for the silliness, the playfulness in these streams sometimes. The question, am I doing what's right? Am I doing something right? Is there anyone that could ever decide other than me? for my life. Yo, yesterday's conversation on games really is melting my brain still. Right. Kind of connecting to today's conversation on playfulness, seeing your life as a play, as a game, as an experience that you get to show up for however you want to. And that there is no right or wrong. There is only the experience you're having. And you can have good and bad experiences, right? We can all agree on that. But you get to choose. We don't always get to choose. Sometimes we'll make choices that can give us good experiences that also instantly allow for bad experiences, right? You buy yourself a nice new car. You drive your nice new car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, right? Sure, it's nice to have a nice car. It's nice to be able to drive the car, but inadvertently, you have set yourself up for the potential to get stranded or broken down next to the road and have that as now a potential bad experience. But you wouldn't have the opportunity to have that bad experience lest you had good experiences first. And you can be angry about that, or you can be playful with it and be like, oh, of course, of course, this is what's going to happen. You're so funny. You're so funny, world, universe. Oh, so silly. Always with your playfulness. And I've been tripping out about this line of alignment as well, right? Really trying to align ourselves with what the world wants. And not the world as I feel many people say it these days, right? You'll hear people say stuff like, the world is fucked, or the world is bad, or the world is a bad place. The world add negative thing here. But the world that people talk about is usually parts of humanity, usually the destructive parts of humanity, right? Cities, open minds. You go into your fractal there if you want to. But there's so much more than just that as the world. And the world has been through actual apocalypses, multiple actual apocalypses, right? All life on earth ending apocalypses, multiple of them. These are good times. And it's not from this perspective of, right, ignore the bad that's happening or pretend that there is no bad happening. But very much this perspective of if you're having a good experience right now, if you have the opportunity to live love instead of fear and you choose not to, that is a bigger sin than ignoring, right, potentially any pain. Because not only are you creating more pain within your own experience, but you're also from that pain state less capable of actually bringing any real or meaningful change into the world. Because now you're a victim to it as well. Some trips, yeah. Playfulness. Playfulness, seriousness. Seriousness, playfulness. Can we be seriously playful? Playfully serious? Like sparring, and then you break someone's jaw accidentally. Is that too much? Is that playful? So much love, Joel is here too. Griffin, see you. The world is a vampire sent to drain. The world is a vampire sent to drain. That is such a hardcore line. I've never heard before, Joyvi. The world is a vampire sent to drain. Technically, the world has been ceaselessly eating itself for millions upon millions of years, billions of years, in fact. Just like reconstituting the same stuff, like an alphabet, rearranging the letters, creating some sort of experience. And this is the story. This is the experience right now. I thought Joy was referring to atmosphere. Breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. Take my carbon dioxide, grass and trees. Make it a part of you as I make you a part of me. We start to believe as a result that, wait a second, this one has stuff before it. We live in a world. Oh, you'll see. Whoa. The whole people say like the world is this thing, right? I'm I'm intimidated by reading this thing we're saying. We live in a world where we get used to things being conditional. A condition needs to be met before the body stops being hungry or cold, for example. Right? If you go outside right now and it's wintering outside, you can be as yogic or as mindful or as divine as you want to be. You're still going to eventually feel cold because you're going to lose energy, right? So then you have to put on clothing or get yourself inside to meet the condition of getting warm again. And it's so true in this three-dimensional, convincingly separate experience that we believe that to be the whole world, right? Like that sense of separation. We start to believe as a result that conditions need to be met before there can be a choice for peace instead of war, forgiveness instead of judgment, for love instead of fear. Therefore, we think when the conditions outside of us change, then we'll make the choice for love. We can harness the choice for love from our depth. And I want to add to that, without a stimulus. From our depth and without a stimulus. There doesn't have to be a thing or an experience or a word or an event for you to have the experience of love. All you have to realize is that the ability to notice anything at all is a loving one. That love, again, in a way, is the ability for multiplicity and unity to exist at the same time. To love so much that you're willing to separate yourself from yourself. That if God held the limitation, I cannot separate myself from myself, that would be a limitation. And just another thing to, become. I cannot separate myself from myself. I can separate myself from myself. I can separate my ability to not be able to separate myself from myself. Oh goodness, Atmosphere. Atmosphere is a rapper. You're listening to the Smashing Pumpkins. There in my forever rotation. Really, do you recommend Beansy? Atmosphere. Atmosphere is a rapper. Okay, the more we know, the more the more we know. Some of his albums on fire. God Loves Ugly is one of my favorites. Sounds pretty cool, actually. If your friends are listening to some esoteric rappers, check out Rob the Universe. Right, representing that dude. He's actually one of my favorite rappers from a point of view of talking about the things beyond what we consider the world, right? His stuff is very cool. Very, very cool. Rob the Universe. I hope to meet him one day. Maybe we will. Even have him on stream. Maybe he'll rap for us a little bit. I I wish I could say I'm joking, but I can see it. I can actually see it happening right now. He's so kind, but not to himself. Zum, 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 zum. Actually, I should probably put it up to the camera. I'll shuffle it once. That's a great title for an album. God loves ugly. God loves imperfection, right? Again, the ability for multiplicity and unity to exist at the same time, right? That you are perfect. At least the quintessential, essential part of yourself. The part of you that is beyond physicality, beyond humanity, beyond the earth, beyond the universe, beyond multidimensional space, beyond the space within which multidimensional space is encapsulated. The Tao that can't be named is not the Tao. You are so infinite, so perfect that the ability to experience the imperfect, the fractal, right? A tree, instead of just going up in a straight line and then having leaves on the side of it, which is really lame, grows into a straight line and then has the urge to fractal itself. And then again has the urge to fractal those versions of itself and then makes this imperfect and yet beautiful. God loves ugly. I love that. Thank you, Maxine, for sharing it as well. There's two old guys from the UK that rap, and they're actually really good, hilarious, but good. Like comedy rappers, I'm guessing. Jewelry, it's nice having you here, friend. We'll pull a card. Boss and Pete. Bass and Pete? Boss and Pete. It sounds like some GGs. Like, and I see stuff like that, or just hear stuff like that. I think I might have seen them as well, but I can't really remember to make a proper judgment on what their music was like. That we tell ourselves these stories of falling behind, but you can literally, as an old dude, right, start a rap career, and if you actually show up and learn how you're supposed to do it, you get good at it to the point where you will make a success of yourself. And if you start now, you have so much time to get good. There's a point in infinity where Melt is so skinny he disappears when he's sideways, yet still complains about being fat. It's true, Joy Vive. It's true. Right? And it's the whole once a fat kid, always a fat kid mentality. I was a fat kid, really overweight. I weighed 220 pounds as a 15-year-old. I still have the stretch marks, right? So there's a part of me that's hypercritical of myself to the point of depression. That's the word, right? And it's a journey that I feel I'm definitely on, that we're all on sometimes. The self-judgment, the unwillingness to accept the time frame slash there's a beautiful word in Afrikaans that goes moedeloosheid. Moedeloos, when you're like frustrated and tired and like fed up with the whole process, because staying whatever in shape is supposed to mean never stops, right? It just continues. You have to continue paying attention. You have to continue being present. And if you let go of that presence, it feels like you lose all of that work. And I heard this beautiful analogy to think of it as like roads in yourself that you're building. Just because you stop walking a road for a while doesn't mean that road completely disappears. Maybe, there'll be some overgrowth if you've lived for a long time, but the road will still be there. You'll just have to go at it with a panga a little bit. My day just went from great to literal poop. What happened, Shannon? Like maybe there's actual poop. I was just thinking, wow, I haven't had to clean doggy messes in the last 24 hours, and I get crapped on. Ooh, man, my hands are getting sore. I'm really like, the anticipation of this card is melting my brain right now. No, like mean old gangsters. Oh, proper gangsters and spit some fire. The videos are hilarious. That's actually so cool, yo. Dog pooped you, my cats would never. One day at a time, Shinansky. This shit shall pass. This too shall pass. Ooh, this feels like the right card. I don't know if we've pulled this card even once on stream. Maybe once on stream. Like there's a lot going on here. The moon, the sun, the beams of energy coming down, the infinities on both sides, the palm trees, the red clouds, the water, the purple crown. What is that even? The stars shooting as well. Woo! Yeah, that was unexpected. That card didn't even cross my mind for a second. That card is sick, right? 16. 16, Maxine. Card number 16. When Peach and I first started dating, like the first night I slept over, I woke up to her cat staring me in the face. She pissed on me and ran. Was very much not a happy camper about you encroaching on her space or trying to take her favorite human away. That card is sick. I'm really happy with it as well. I'm curious. I don't feel I have the information of what it used to mean. I know that that's like an ancient symbol, like a mantra symbol, but that's how far it goes. Yup, I went to pick him up to take him outside because he looked like he was going to pee. And on the way to the door, on my shoe and shirt and shorts, I'll be wearing so much shit. I hate it. On my shirt and shoes and socks and everything I was gonna do. So much shit. I hate it. Oh, goodness, universe. Why is this happening to me right now? Harmony and right action. Not Sayav. I kind of went to the place where it's not so either. Yeah, 100%. Machi has been on the bed right next to me. Oh, goodness. Suddenly my eyes start burning. It wasn't a fun night. Was right about to go to sleep. Yeah, the smell. I can't, my mind, like I can deal with, you know, a little fly landing in my water. And there's a mosquito in my hair. Hey, little dude. Okay, he flew away. This card joins two powerful traditions. From the Hindu tantric tradition comes the geometry of the Sri Yantra. It's 9 interlocking triangles that form a powerful meditation symbol that is said to encapsulate the entire universe in a single geometric visualization. From the ancient Huna tradition of Hawaii, Ho'oponopono is reviewed as a means to bring harmony and be in right action with the ancestors, or to make things right with the people with whom you have relationships. Its intent is to correct the wrongs that have occurred in one's life. This card acknowledges you to intend to create a life of freedom from guilt, shame, and blame. It asks you to meditate on the people and events in your life and to search for understanding of what you need to know to bring them into harmony and right action. Seek harmony within yourself first, then open to communicating with others in a manner that will bring greater understanding and harmony to all. You may enjoy offering this sunset prayer. The sun is not quite setting just yet. It still has a few minutes left. But I forgive myself and all beings for any misthought word or action that occurred in this day. I acknowledge that the universe is unlimited potential and all is transpiring in perfect divine order in my life at this time. Even the actual shit. Even the actual shit. How playful of the universe, huh, Shannon? Such a silly universe. I mean, oh my god. My baba would be pissed if a dude was on the side of my bed, read Shan's poop massacre while shoveling rice, spam, and eggs into my. What's that? Why spam? Why not? Oh goodness. I'm sorry that happened. It could be worse. One of our little dogs eating out of the litter box. She ate a whole bunch of day and oh, guilty pleasure food joy. There's a lot worse things I could be doing out there. At least I'm not smoking rocks. Oh goodness. I like that comparison is like I'm just eating some spam and eating some rice and eggs, right? In my apartment with my cat. I smoke some weed occasionally. At least I'm not out there, right? Absolutely chanda monkeying it. Spam to crack. That escalated, right? Let people enjoy things even if it's crack. Go wake up. God is like uber enlightened. Like, let people smoke the crack if they want to. Who are you to say they shouldn't be smoking crack? I guess within the infinity, it is a playful enough experience, right, for people to want to have it. Ah, it's not the experience I believe is for us necessarily. Oh, this card is pretty trippy. It wasn't pulled reversed, but I want to read the reversed meaning anyway. It goes, "Do not blame others for what you have created." All right, and that instantly creates a little bit of tension, right? Meditate on the cause of your pain and then release it. Right? And the way that I kind of make it make sense for myself is this trip of I could be comatose right now, right? Or I could be blind, deaf, mute, unfeeling. I could just be a brain in darkness right now. And then I probably wouldn't have any standards for what I would consider a good experience, right? Like, just to make it simple, my dogs in the one experience is, absolutely causing pandemonium in my environment. Now the other experience like causing none. But if I'm not aware of any of it, then technically there's no experience happening. So in that way, all of our experiences are self-created. That doesn't mean bad experiences happen to us and we have difficulty, right? Doesn't mean it's fun getting actual poop on you while you're trying to help your dog, right? It's not even like you were a bad person, now you're getting pooped on. It's like you were trying to be a good person and now you're pooped on. Oh goodness, makes me think of that joke. I think like I don't know if I'm going to tell it correctly, but I'm paraphrasing it a little bit. Something like a little bird, little sparrow, sits on a tree, and a kind of ice storm blows in the night and freezes him, or at least cools him down to the point where he is basically frozen and he falls off of his little stick onto the ground, completely frozen solid. He considers himself dying. And then a cow walks by and poops, and it's nice and warm and it falls all over him, thawing him out. And he basically comes back to life, bursts out of the poop, and starts singing his beautiful song, happy to be alive. And then a cat pounces on him and eats him, ending his life. That's the story, right? And it's like there's some sort of like moral behind it, something like not everybody that shits on you is your friend or is your enemy. And if you're in the shit or if you're trying to get out of the shit, keep your mouth shut. Right? I don't know where I'm going with this. I really don't. But I feel we're experiencing some discomfort, as a species, as a society right now. And even though we can consider it a bad thing, it could also be exactly what we need right now. A little bit of discomfort might be exactly what helps us grow in the way we know we're capable of. Right? Changing the world, dear friends. I don't understand. And animals eating poop? No, goodness, same. Fried granola sandwiches are a guilty pleasure of mine. Beans, yes, pivot to food. Lolo, how's it going? Even better with you here. Rooch. I have a friend who told me when he's 80, he's going to do heroin because he doesn't do drugs now. And I asked why. He said because he's 80 and he can. I mean, you can do heroin right now, dude. Right, like you shouldn't have that as like your directive, like, ah, yes, once I get to the age of 80, I'm gonna start doing heroin. Like, and again, who am I to say that there's something wrong with that? If you get to the age of 80 and you want to start doing heroin, who am I to say you shouldn't? I just, I hope that's the thing that I'm really kind of stuck on. I hope that that is not your directive. Right. That shouldn't be your goal. Yeah. Live to 80 and then start doing heroin. And then you're like driving your whole life. Maybe. Maybe people could do that. Heroin is on my death list. Bed bucket list. Deathbed bucket list. Yeah, I mean morphine is pretty popular for a reason, right? It suppresses pain. But unfortunately, we already live in a society that has this willingness to suppress our pain, our discomfort. And we know now, with the amount of scientific research we've done as well, that the more you press on the pleasure button, psychologically, physiologically, even in your world, right, when it comes to the other people in your life as well, the worse the swing of pain is that comes with it. And then vice versa. If you put yourself through painful experiences in your life, you inevitably get benefit out of that. And it's counterintuitive, and it makes it make a lot of sense why heroin is so popular in our world right now. Fentanyl. Mm, I know you think I'm emotional terrorist, Gav, so I have to keep it up for your sake. Don't forget the American cheese and custard beans. I have had morphine. It was terrible, so heroin I'd rather not. Yeah, it's a pain suppressant, right? And if you believe life is only painful and there's nothing else, but trying to escape that pain, what can I say? I have a whole list of things that I would like to do with that person, right? Spend time and try and share behaviors. But if you're already, at a loss when it comes to the amount of pain you've experienced and the amount of pleasure you know is possible, it makes it a lot harder to do things, but never impossible, right? I feel like that's with the human spirit. It never ceases to amaze me. We don't give up that easy. I went to skydive, and before I pass, I want to skydive before I pass, but I'm terrified. Hi, Shannon as well on that one. I'm still smiling. What if it's a story, Mel? I don't know, Joy Beef. I don't know. I heard it as well, and I was like, it's kind of interesting. You're a badass. I'd start retching if I selected. Oh goodness, OCD would be triggered. I'm having that experience remotely right now, Maxine. It's hard for me. Sunrise at a place of ancient energy is on my bucket list. I love watching the sun come up at like Machu Picchu or the Rainbow Hills. For me, I would love to, like go to those Aztec temples as well. Maybe the Himalayas. Maybe we'll do it together, Corey. Even if that togetherness is going to be right virtually. Sunrises and sunsets are one of my favorite experiences. Dusk and dawn hits different, and you get overwhelmed with the sense of sacredness. Yes, yes, I like that's such a beautiful way to put it, Maxine. I love that experience. Sunset, Just hits different for me. The energy of the new sun and the moon before it sets. For some reason, I'm blowing up here. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true, dude. Let yourself be playful. It's really not that serious, so you're gonna be okay. You're not falling behind. You're just showing up today like you have every single day. Just try and do that well, right? 1%. If all you can give today is 1%, that's enough. Over the next year, if you only can give 1% every day, you will have given 365%. Sometimes you'll give more, sometimes you'll give less. But keep showing up for love, dear friend. Whatever that love means to you. And that word has definitely been abused. The amount of cultural baggage around the word love. I feel like this space, you, us, is gonna take that word back. It's gonna be ours again. Fun fact: if you sun gaze every day after the sun's gone down, you can see the grid. That sounds pretty sick. That twilight in between light and darkness, just a magical time. The sun and moon on each side, the energy choosing through my being. We actually had that as a, right? Look at that, dude. The sunset, bro. Total amplifiers. I see the sunrise every morning now. It's kind of gray. Generally, sunsets are my jam, though. Very pretty. One of the chimkins are crowing right now as we're talking about sunrises and sunsets. The energies. Like there definitely is this, I feel almost like primordial experience to knowing that the sun is disappearing for an extended period of time, right? And it'll come back. Like we trust in that. The illusion of time. One of the conversations I really find fascinating is if we had a planet that turned on its own axis, half as fast, so we had 48-hour days, would we have made more progress? Would we have figured out how to be better at rest? Right? If you have so much time in your day, you would have to get good at resting. And right now, we don't have that much time in our day, at least conceptually. And weirdly enough, we might figure out how to mess with that as well. Because apparently, time as a measure, and it's a weird thing. It's weird. So, like, bear with me. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying it could be a thing. But time as a measure is apparently determined by the consistency of dopamine in your brain. So, let's call it drops. If you received 1 drop of dopamine per second or per minute, etc., you could, with some level of accuracy, share or remember how much time has passed, right? You could predict the time on the clock. But, and this is where it gets interesting, if you have a better or worse experience when it comes to how well you think you're doing, right? If you're sitting in a classroom and you're bored out of your mind, suddenly you don't feel like this is the best way you could be spending your time. So the drip of dopamine slows down. And then you don't have a good time on top of the fact that you have a longer time not having a good time. And then the opposite is true as well, where the whole, time flies when you're having fun. You're literally receiving more dopamine. And then as a result of that increase of dopamine flow in your brain, so goes the increase of flow of time and the enjoyment thereof. So it's this weird trip of, even if we could slow down time for ourselves, we might do so at the expense of enjoying it. And then there is this trip where maybe we'll do both and we'll hack that experience by tuning more into our serotonin. Instead of having to be motivated to do something, we do it because it's interesting, because it's loving, because it's information, right? Serotonin is this information exchange where if I kind of talk to you in one tone voice and I don't move my face, suddenly you're getting less serotonin because there's on a metaphysical and physical level less information for your brain to process. There's less neural activity happening for you to try and understand what is being communicated to you. And we communicate a lot of our bodies. We communicate so much of our bodies, even unconsciously, even on layers of perception that we don't even notice. It's fascinating. Like we're learning how to human better, faster, and I feel gratitude is the only thing that we can really do to be good at being human. Is we be grateful. Be like, oh, thank you. Being human rocks sometimes, at least. Today and last week have been 1% days for me too. I've also had 1% days, Maxine. So it's okay. You'll give more when you got it to give. Exactly, Joy V. Thank you for that love as well. Why have roosters? Do they keep the other chickens in line? Joy V, I had this conversation with my mom today. We don't really, at least me and my mom, don't really want the chickens. Right, sure. They're little dinosaurs, but they're also little dinosaurs that have realized that they really, and I mean really, they really like dog food. Right? And we have one of those continuous dog food feeders. So not only do they really like dog food, they also really like the fact that it's ceaseless dog food. It just keeps coming. Dog, like pellets of dog. I'm just imagining these chickens, gorging themselves on basically mostly meat and some starches, I guess, actually having the time of their lives because they're dinosaurs, because they're little dinosaurs, and they poop on everything while they're, doing their deeds, their sins as well. So much poop, all right, and then we have to clean it, and I'm just like, bro, I want, I want to, I want these chickens are harshing my mother right now. Oh goodness. So yeah, I the chickens aren't mine. Let me just say it that way. The only animals that I feel responsible for are our actual pets. The doggos, the cattos. All of them get my full attention. The other animals are, I feel, in a way, willing captives. Are all of us willing captives? Who knows? There's a. Let me show you. I'm gonna show the peeper, the little bug. Look at this dude. He was walking on the grass. This dude was like in the mud. Like this dude is. Sorry, man. He fell on the grass. He's okay. Please, please, let him. Look at the bug. Not me. Stop looking at me. Yeah. Okay, dude. I'm gonna. Oh wow, he's doing a cool acrobatic move. He's like tightening himself in a formation. You see that? Like after I dropped him, he went stiff in like a three formation. Can I show that a little bit better? Oh, he freed himself. Like it went, he went like with these legs forward and these two. Such a cool dude. Okay, okay, be free. I have the 1%. I was born tired, and yet you wake up so early for these streams. Power. That's some power, Joy. That's some actual power. One step at a time, being some steps are bigger than others. Sometimes we run, others we walk. Be gentle with yourself. Alaska has 6 months of daylight at certain points during the year. You would change the trajectory of your progress. I've been actively processing my emotions while doing inner child work. Good. It's been the most brutal step of my healing journey so far. Being gentle and unconditional with yourself is key. The inner child, that's been like one of the most present things in my current experience as well. It's really coming back to that innocence, that calm, that ignorance, that naivete about the way the world works. That is how the world works. That is how the world works. Right? Like there's layers of perception, and whatever you choose to believe about the world is true perpetuates that truth. We are creating a new world. You are creating a new world. Literally. Thank you for doing the work, Maxine. Beautiful people, ceaseless dog food, simple life. Simplicity is nice from time to time. Choice can get complex. Sometimes I feel bad just for choosing what I think is better. Why do we sometimes hate our own choices, Mel? We hate our own choices because we want for things to be differently. Okay, well, we're like, yeah, right. I chose this, but I wish I chose that. I wish this choice was different, and instead that choice. And in the world where you made that choice, maybe you were happier, and then you were so happy you weren't paying attention, gleefully walking, and then you got hit by a car, right? So your choice, this moment, the fact that you are still perpetuating in existence means that you're winning. You know? Right? All of infinity and you now. Right? We can all acknowledge that infinity exists, at least conceptually. And even within conceptual infinity, everything also exists, down to the millisecond snapshot of your life. All possibilities. And the fact that you haven't died up until this point means that you're winning, that you're showing up for love because you're still experiencing something. Love is true. Oh goodness, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Sinning Jimkins, they're sins. They're sins. They have so much farm to eat bugs, right? To eat everything else, to eat worms and such. But no, ceaseless dog food. Give me the dog food ceaselessly, please. More. Why? Thank you again for asking, Kevo. I want to get the inner child oil, Maxine. Maybe that's one that's going to you already, Shannon. Such a strange part of my journey, Shan. Do we hate the fact that we have preferences? Do we like to pretend we're more altruistic than we are? I wonder. I feel really at the core of it, we're just trying to survive right now, right, Kevo? And unfortunately, that is how this system is currently set up. That we are expected to survive, not thrive. We're expected to contribute to a society at the expense of the self. At the same time, not being willing to take care of those selves at the expense of the society, right? medical care, education. It's a little bit of a trip. Dad is feeding the chickens, it sounds like. I wonder, so cute, yummy. I'm grateful right now. It's not frigid outside, so I can rinse my doormat off. Yeah, at least. Look at that. Silver linings. Silver linings, Shannon. Joel saying, Cable, I got the package and opened the book this morning. I am amazed. Planned on writing to you after lunch to start my excitement. The art is on point. Thank you, Brother Joel, for the support and for the love that you share as well. Your presence. Your presence and your willingness to see our love. Thank you for being an artist in the same way. Regretting our choices, regret over choosing one path instead of the other. We can't travel all roads, and no matter which one we do choose, they're always going to be that what if feeling. God's creations are so strange. All of creation, all of what we consider creation, right? Like the moon just peeking over my shoulder. Like there is ceaseless beauty happening in this world. You just have to notice it sometimes, right? The moon has been there this whole time, lovingly looking over me. And only now do I feel her presence and acknowledge her beauty. And just think about how much of this experience, right? That thinking of the everything, creation, as the feminine, and the experiencer of creation as the masculine, part of the infinite unity. Be grateful and notice the playfulness of the universe. It's beautiful. You just have to see. Your friends inspire me. Remember, you are where you're meant to be. You are with friends and family. You are wanted and loved. You are home. Love all of you so much. Corey, I feel like you were dwomp right there in the same fractal. Love you, scary bugs. Not so scary, just big. It's a dung beetle. We're all doing way better than we perceive. The internal feels so much more intense than the outside world. Exactly. And realizing that we can, in the same way, we can consciously start breathing. Huh, puppy? What you doing, yo? What you doing? Hey, silly girl. Puppy is in her own fractal right now. I wonder what they experience when they do that. She's like smelling things, right? Like if I went and did that, I would just smell grass and dirt, and be like, yeah, that's grass and dirt, all right. And she's like having an experience, invested in the experience, infatuated. In the same way, we get lost in cyberspace, where you can look at your cell phone, maybe watch something, and be so committed to the information you're receiving that you're almost outside of the world. Someone can be talking to you and you would not register. Same way for her, but with a sense, with a smell experience. Looks like a massive weevil. I also thought it looked like a weevil, but that's a dung beetle. We agreed, a type of dung beetle. Time out, sings joy. Even the choices that I've made that I like, it's a part of me that hates who I've become by making that choice. Like if I choose to stay inside because I'm tired and I want to rest, part of me will demand to go out. And I hate leaving friends behind, even if I don't wish to go out fully. Cable, I feel that's where self-love comes in, right? That deep understanding of you're always going to hate your choices if you're not making them from a deep place of love, right? Love has to be true in the choices that you make in your life in order for you to be happy with those choices. Otherwise, you're always going to be second guessing yourself because you're like, yeah, well, right, I kind of deserve whatever happened because I didn't actually believe love was true, right? I didn't love myself in that experience. I did it because I was expected to. I didn't love it. I didn't like, yeah, I can make the world a better place with this thing I'm doing. And it can be something simple. You could be cooking yourself a meal. making the world a better place instead of, eating 10 bags of chips and four sets of McDonald's burgers. All right. And I've done that. And worse, and beers on top of that. Like, absolutely decimating myself. And then I wake up the next morning feeling like death. And I'm like, what happened to me? I feel like I got hit by a truck. And then I reflect and I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I think she's smelling the beetle, maybe. Uh, oh, yeah, I did that. I don't know if I want to do that again. I want to learn and get better. I want to start making choices that are loving and true instead of myself, especially, right? Because again, the whole pleasure and pain trip, it might be pleasurable in the moment, but it causes so much pain in the background and the rest of the fractal looking forward that sometimes it might be painful to say no to people's requests, people's expectations that you're supposed to go out with them. But the pleasure is going to be the willingness to acknowledge to yourself, take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself, even if there are people in the world that could use your time right now, right? Like it's an experience of realizing that you don't have to save the world alone, dear friend, right? Neither do I, neither do you. None of us have to put all of the world's pressure on ourselves. Sure, I believe, I honestly do, that this space, eventually perpetuating on into infinity, will save the world, right? Because I've seen hope, I've seen trust, I've seen loyalty, community, and new friends in a way that I didn't know possible. Not on the internet. I seriously think about that. Did you think this was possible with the internet? The amount of degeneracy that happens. This is a miracle that we're having a calm, conscious experience right now. And I'm tripping out about it so much that I lost my train of thought. Yeah, back on it. That this space could save the world, but this space is all of us, right? The reason this space exists right now is because you're a part of it. If you're not here, surely you know that I exist in this moment with you ceaselessly, right? And even if you don't show up in this space, you can still tune in mentally and you still do contribute to that space again, right? Even, even if you never tune back in and you spend the rest of your life just thinking every now and then, oh yeah, that thing, right? You are in that same way contributing to the rest of the world. And if all of us can come to a point where we show up for love just once a day, right? Like I think about all of humanity just taking an hour out of our day to show up for love, right? Do something loving, right? Show up for an hour painting your mom's kitchen. Weird trip for me right now, right? Like do for an hour once a day something loving. And if we can all, the collective humanity, just make that switch 1 hour, right? The whole 1% thing. Technically 1 hour is like 6% of your day, right? Might even be less than that. I think it's something like that. At least let's say just 6% of our whole days we dedicate to love as a collective humanity. How much would we get done for love? With love as our directive from loving action. It melts my brain just thinking about it. It makes me happy that we are doing it, right? You showed up for love. Here you are, after all. Oh, goodness. There's some wild white dude shouting gibberish into the infinity. Where? Where is he? Where is he, Joey? Kevo, there's no duality. Regardless of the choice, we are who we're meant to be. Near-death experiences say that when we come back, they say they feel this like this is a dream, and when the they were is real, way more vivid than the other side. They say this place is dulled down. Yeah, I've had that as an experience as well, Maxine. That seems to be the trip. This experience we call the human one is, I don't want to say dulled down, but dialed down. I think thinking of it as a dial is better than thinking of it as a dullness. Because the other side, to say it in so many words, is everything all of the time, right? And even though that it's everything all of the time, it is still going to be a representation if it's not completely light, right? So the fact that there is shadow in this experience is already a dialing down of the extreme intensity of oneness and the energy that embodies. It's a trip. It really is a trip. The fact that we get to have these human experiences, a dialed down consciousness that is allowed, if it allows itself a sense of calmness, peace, gentleness. Survival over thriving, yes. Most of the things come with the experience, the expectations that we need to sacrifice ourselves to give to society. Yep, and society doesn't want to do the same thing for us, dude, and that's why we have so much dissonance right now. I love that tree, acceptance. I love the moon. I love you. Melt is in a fun mood today. I'm showing up to be playful, but Pippi ate the bug. Maybe. You probably saw it. I hope not. Perfect timing, Cable. We can always use more fun as adults. The peace in the early hours of the morning. I couldn't imagine how powerful it is for you, Cable. Living in a busy place would be so draining for me. Yeah, yeah, I seem to be in sync today. I love it. I love you, dear friend. You're here for it. Posting a tiger as well, Maxine. I have so much respect for dung beetles. They fight over nest pieces for the future young. Makes me reflect humans as they fight over how meaningless would we fight for be to the beetles. How meaningless would what we fight for be to the beetles? Oh yeah. We fight for status, we fight for words, we fight for approval. We fight for approval. We fight for approval of all things. And the only person that can really approve of you is, right, in the theological perspective, God. But in my perspective, there is no separation, right? So, since you're the closest thing to unity as a self, as a oneness, right? Oh, I am, no, 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 no. Always I, starting with that I, that observer, that looking one. It's it's you who has to approve of yourself, right? And only you can change your behavior to the point where you do. And it's intimidating. It's a lot of responsibility. I don't know that we always want to approve of ourselves either, right? There's a thing to be experienced in non-approval as well. So maybe we should end the stream with that as our caveat. Fight for your own approval. Oh yes, love you, friends. Even the hot, sexy girls are here for this approval of self. I never ever thought someone on the other side of the world would have such an impact on my life and believe in so much. The space is changing the world. You are. Shannon, please remember you are. Right, Shannon, isn't it profound? You are. Maxine, please remember. Corey, you are. The space always amazes me, and spending time with you people has been worthy every second, twice over. Blessing. You flatter me, friend. I'm missing Giovanna right now. You guys have literally healed my aching heart some days and picked me up when no one else was there. This space is sacred. I've never found a group like this before. We're doing magic right now, Maxine. This is actual magic. This right here. So much magic that the bots are like, you want some degeneracy? No, please. No degeneracy for me. Right? And then I now being the later version of myself, I psychoanalyze. Why did you say no and please? Hmm. I'm still saying no to the perspective of begging the other person, please, no. Like, no, please. Please, no. Oh, YouTube. YouTube. Can't keep doing this to us, yo. I'm trying to think how bad it's gonna get when we have access to real AI. Or how good, from the perspective of the tools I'll have as well. Maybe that's what I should really remind myself of. That it's always gonna be a tug of war. And that is playful. Yeah. So good. I'm building the infrastructure in my brain. Sicketh. So instead of seeing the nonsense, the noise as nonsense and noise, I should see it as opposition slash playfulness. Something that I get to interface with. And that's part of the game. All right. We don't want to stop playing. Otherwise, we would just hold our breath and kill over right now, right? It's sex about. Thank you, friend. Even if it's sex about here for us, yes. Love is true, after all. Hot girls, maybe they need to borrow Melty's brother desk. And the layers. Choivi was like, I've been so present. Good one, right? All right. I'm tripping out about it as well. Thank you, friends, for spending some time with me, showing up. It was a lot of fun. Blessings. Blessings to you, dear friend. I love you. I love you so much. I honor you deeply, deeply. I look forward to seeing you again. Rambler, of course, he's here for this moment. Hello, Mel, Tiger, Corey, Shan, Susanna, Cable, and everyone else I missed. I have the best fractal ever. Love is true. Thanks for all that you do. Rambler, what a trip. What a trip. Thank you for giving your energy in this last moment as well. I'll see you friends again soon. Love you. Goodbye, everyone.